relativity and quantum theory. So, the result was fake physics, a deliberately broad term that encompasses a range of different topics. The main criteria for inclusion are that the fake physics should be intentional, on the part of the authors, and entertaining, not just to professional physicists, but to ordinary SF readers as well. Here is a quick rundown of the book's contents. The first chapter, Science Fiction Posing as Science Fact, starts on what should be familiar territory to many readers, Asimov's original thiotimoline spoof, as well as a number of follow-ups to it written by Asimov and others. It also takes a broader look at various ways in which fiction writers tried to persuade readers they're actually reading non-fiction. The second chapter, The Relativity of Wrong, a phrase coined by Asimov, takes a step back to look at the way real science works and how aspects of its methodology, specifically the formulation of hypotheses, can easily be twisted to create science-fictional, or in some cases science-factual, fake physics. The third chapter looks at the art of technobabble. Professional physics has both a language of its own, a mixture of jargon and mathematics, and a literary style, namely that of the academic paper. The latter is particularly important because both the promulgation of scientific ideas and the furtherance of scientific careers depends on scientists publishing their results. This brings us to the next chapter, Spoofs in Scientific Journals. Some of these are indistinguishable in style, format, and intent from Asimov's thiotimoline piece, the only difference being that they appeared in publications, either serious or not so serious, aimed at professional scientists rather than SF readers. Not surprisingly, the appearance of spoofs has a peak around the 1st of April each year, to the extent that the April Fool phenomenon requires a whole chapter to itself. Some of these spoofs appeared in traditional print media, but, as already mentioned, their real home today is the online archive repository. So far, all the spoofs discussed have been purely for fun. The ones in the next chapter, Making a Point, are funny too, but the authors had another reason for writing them besides making people laugh. This is where you'll find the Sokol hoax and various sting operations against unscrupulous predatory journals. The final chapter is called Thinking Outside the Box. While the fake physics here undoubtedly has fake aspects, and is often highly entertaining, it nevertheless carries a serious scientific message. There's scientific debunking of paranormal claims, thought experiments like the relativistic twin paradox, and discussions of other universes governed by different physical laws. There are some types of fake physics you won't find in this book, such as frauds perpetrated for financial or professional gain. That's an unsavory subject, and it fails to meet our must-be-entertaining criterion. Another exclusion is pseudoscience, for the simple reason that it's already been covered in Pseudoscience and Science Fiction. One final caveat. The word physics has been taken in a broader than usual sense, to include all the physical sciences, and even some other sciences when we simply couldn't resist it. Thus, you'll find things like a spoof NASA report on sex experiments in space, and a hoax paper on the clinical pathophysiology of Star Wars-style midichlorians. Surely no one can blame us for including those. Crewkern, UK, Andrew May. Science Fiction Posing a Science Fact. Abstract. In 1948, the magazine Astounding Science Fiction printed a piece by Isaac Asimov about a fictitious substance, thiotimoline, which dissolves a second or so before it's added to water. The remarkable thing about the endocrinic properties of resublimated thiotimoline was that it took the form of a spoof research paper rather than a short story. It started a trend that